Hi, and welcome to the SEO podcast, Unknown Secrets of Internet Marketing. My name is Chris Burris, owner of eWebStyle.
I'm Charles Lewis, your Internet Marketing Specialist.
Welcome back to another fun-filled edition of our podcast. I'm just not comfortable kicking your shoes. Like you gave me carte blanche. You can kick these. I'm like, I'm not comfortable. After last podcast, you should see his reaction. Go back and listen to podcast number 284.
283.
280. Yeah, this is 284. Yeah. Go listen to 283. And speaking of 283, there is a tip from 283, and that tip is make sure to include remarketing in any and all online marketing strategies.
Period.
Just
period. Like remarketing is just one of those necessary deals that you have to do, whether it's through AdWords or Facebook or whatever you're doing. If remarketing or retargeting, whatever you want to call it, is available, take advantage of it. Why? Because especially in AdWords, it's definitely cheaper.
Yeah.
Cost per click is usually 70-80% cheaper than it would be than working directly in Google Search Network. More importantly, it's a great way to keep your competitors in their face and follow people around who visited your site before. Must include remarketing.
Absolutely. Remember, we are broadcasting live from Houston, Texas, and we are your friendly local neighborhood
top position snatchers,
where our mantra is
don't be a douche.
All right, so we got some. We got a newsletter article. We're going to talk about
newsletter today, man. Get punch in the face to Scott Gerber and the guys over at Search Engine Journal. 11 ways to improve your click-through rate. And he's talking about email marketing, so we will dive in a little later.
Excellent. If you're in a position to, and you probably are because you're listening to this, go ahead and tweet now. Chuck, what should they tweet?
Well, you should tweet us. Use the hashtag SEO Podcast. This is number 284. Be sure to tag us in it at Best SEO Podcast at eWebStyle. That way we can follow you back and do all of our social networking stuff.
All right, quick news. If you're, by the way, if this is the first time listening to the podcast, howdy, welcome to our podcast. You're about to have a good time and get some great information.
What's happening?
If you've listened to it before, you know what I'm about to do. I'm about to ask you or tell you where you could go write a review. It's just one consideration we ask from you. We are running this quote-unquote competition. If we get more than 10 likes or new followers or whatever on any one of these platforms,
social platform,
then we skip the section. We didn't get 10, so boom, here is the section. Please leave us a review. There's a number of ways you can do that. We do really like our G Plus reviews.
Yeah, probably the most important one.
We've made it super easy for you to get to our G Plus page. All you have to do is go to e-webstyle.com/
Google Plus
or /
Google Plus
or /
G Plus
or /
G Plus.
All of those will take you to our G Plus local page, and you will be able to find and write a review. While you're there, do a couple
write
things.
The review. First, most importantly, write the review. Hopefully, it's 5 stars. Then after you leave that review, man, put us in a circle. That way you can share some content with us. We'll put you in a circle, share some content with you.
Boom, all done. Excellent. Next, iTunes. It's pretty easy. You first go on to iTunes. Second, you create an iTunes account. Third, you write a review for us. And hopefully you make it 5 stars. Done. Send us an email if you want to. Next is Facebook. On our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/
eWebStyle.
You will find the review button, and there's actually a review app and a review normal area. So you see those stars, you click them, you get down there, you write a review. Hopefully you make that review 5 stars.
You know what else you can do while on Facebook after you leave that review? Feel free to ask us questions. And that's for Twitter as well. If you got any questions about any online marketing activities and you feel we may be able to answer that question, man, Facebook us, tweet us, Snapchat us, or just get the question to us. We'll be glad to answer it.
And I'm going to throw this out there. If you've actually hit us up on Twitter and asked us a question and we haven't answered it, given the email I'll be reading here shortly, go ahead and hit us up again.
Yeah, our bad.
We'll do our best. By the way, yes, social, and also there's always email, which this kind of proves might work a little better. And then finally, leave us a review on Stitcher. The easiest way to get to our Stitcher page is actually to go to our page, e-webstyle.com. And it's not on the home page, but any internal page has our Stitcher. I noticed that the other day.
Yeah, home page doesn't have sidebar.
Any internal page has our Stitcher, link to our Stitcher, our podcast on Stitcher. So go there and write us a review. Hopefully you make that 5 stars. All right, so we do like it when you haunt us, stalk us, harass us, and just in general make contact with us. Lots of ways to do that. Facebook.com/
eWebStyle.
YouTube.com/
eWebStyle.
Twitter.com/
eWebStyle.
Instagram.com/
eWebStyle.
nothingelse.com/ yeah, there's nothing else. That's all of them. Thank you. And follow us and all that good stuff. And maybe we'll skip that review section.
Follow us, like us, subscribe. Like those 3 actions.
If you are a PHP guru or WordPress programmer extraordinaire, we are probably looking for you. Go ahead and submit an audio resume. 713-510-7846. We do have a free website analysis available on our website. And all you need to do is go to our website, e-webstyle.com, and you will find on every page, not like Stitcher, every page you'll find a free website analysis. If you've submitted one, we're a little backlogged, go ahead and reach out to us and we'll make sure we take care of that. And now it is time for the favorite segment of the program, the Algorithm Cataclysm.
Okay.
I'm trying to step it up a notch. That was a wheelie.
Yeah, I almost filling that up quick. Yeah. That was crazy. But it was definitely worth the magnitude of that cataclysm just due to today's Algo Cat. So let's start off with a continuation from last week. Google Panda 4.2. Still rolling out. Yeah, still rolling out. Yeah, they said 3 months, 2 months, and so it's still rolling out. And I believe that's probably why we've been seeing pops in some accounts.
That's
true. So look, it's working, right? Again, if you were penalized by Panda before,
well, let's be very specific about that. What we're doing is working. What you're doing may be showing up in the negative arena because of that.
Because of that Panda. Yeah. Because of that algorithm cataclysm. Yeah. And so if you maybe were penalized by Panda before and lost your ranking, pooped on, yeah. Dude, go rewrite that content. Get rid of those thin pages. Merge whatever pages that could be merged. And improve the level of your content so that way you can take advantage of the Panda being rolling out this refresh. This is necessary.
Look at that line. This is an instinct, right?
Okay. Are we good?
You're good.
Are we good? Okay, all right. So the second one, Bing.
Yeah.
Bing Algo Cat. So dig this. So you may have noticed a drop in your organic visits from Bing. Bing is rolling out encrypted search as well.
Oh, wow.
So they're following Google's bandwagon with the secure search. Makes sense. It is a safer internet, and so that's another reason you may want to do that. Yep. And the last one. So Google's getting into the home services. They're getting into everything.
Oh, Google's getting
into home service. They're rolling it out in San Francisco right now, and so they're literally, if you go to Google and you're in San Francisco and you search for either a locksmith or a plumber right now, the ad you will see, notice keyword ad,
right?
This is a paid deal, but the ad will reference the company. It shows up in a knowledge graph with their number and their services. Dude, that's I don't know what it is, right? Because what my concern is, I don't know how that's going to work with all of those locksmiths and other plumbers who are already paying for the top position in AdWords.
Yeah, typical
for regular
PPC
pay-per-click
ads,
stuff. Exactly. But at the same time, the fact that Google is highlighting certain people, I think that's a good win.
Go after it.
Go after it.
If you're in San Francisco, I'd be picking up the phone or Googling it, or I'd be Googling it.
And I know they're going to test it. We're going to see how it, I know what their test is. How does this affect dollars?
Yep, revenue. Revenue and customer experience, right? They're really got a good balance of both of those usually.
So, that's my Algo Cat.
Cool. Well, I got a little bit of news. I thought this was interesting. So going through tech news, and a guy writes an article about what to do if your car is hacked, right? So the last couple of podcasts we talked about cars getting hacked. And I got to tell you, this article scared the shit out of me. It's like, but have you lost control of steering? Have you lost control of your brakes? If you did, right? So imagine you've been hacked and somebody's jacking with you, and now you
got to hop out, tuck and roll.
Well, so you scrape the cement barrier on the freeway until you stop, but now you got your foot on the brake, but now you got to get out, and so that's all terrifying. And then he said, and if you have a kid in the back. Oh, yeah. So his recommendation was keep your old car.
Man, yeah, that's
scary as hell,
very
right?
Scary.
And then the next one was the OnStar app has also been hacked, right? So in this case, I think they can, they can turn on your car and turn it off.
I would love to hack OnStar. I wouldn't mess with your vehicle. I would just probably crack dozens on people, in their car. Like, why'd you wear that?
Yeah.
You're going the wrong way.
Your driving sucks.
Watch out!
Oh my God.
That would be me.
Yeah, it's rough. And it's only a value if you like put a camera in the car.
Exactly.
Next, we got, this was interesting. So Facebook says no to the French regulators. Remember, we're talking about the European Union and the right to be forgotten, right? And so people can submit, hey, I have the right to be forgotten. And Google's like acquiesced eventually, and they're doing that. And I think the same thing, well, the same thing happened in France, but France is saying, we want you to remove it
period,
worldwide.
Yeah, and they're like, no, we're not going to do that.
Not going to happen. So kudos to Facebook for that was Facebook or was that?
That was
no,
Google.
That was Google.
That was
Google. I
Google.
got that wrong. So the next thing is Facebook, which is, they're building drones for internet access also, flying around drones. That's just
Matter of fact, they just built a plane. I saw this yesterday. They built, Zuckerberg announced it on his blog, where they just finished building the first plane that's just going to fly around.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, the drones. Yeah, it's huge. It's only
it's
a
about
wing.
the size of a 737 I read.
Yeah, in terms of length, yeah. And all they do is they beam up internet to it via laser, and then it broadcasts Wi-Fi or cellular, one or the other. I don't know what that's doing, but that's pretty cool, because at the end of the day, without bandwidth, Facebook is nothing. Without bandwidth, Google's nothing. It's very interesting.
You need to be online.
Yeah. Hey, I got a PTIF, punch in the face. This is to Jeff Smith. He's with Alan Smith Pools. .com. Yeah, we have had some great conversations, so we'll probably be helping him out. So PTIF to you, Jeff. And then finally, I got a review. You notice there is no tier. That's good. So the title is funny and smart, and it is 5 stars. And this is from Decky613. He's actually in Canada, and he says, "Keep up the great work, guys. I listen on my way to work and laugh by myself a lot." That's awesome. And he says, check out the SEO Rapper on YouTube. So definitely go check out that punch in the face, giving a punch in the face to Your review of us is giving a punch in the face to the SEO Rapper, who actually is the guy right next to me. So cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. And that, what else you got?
I got news. I got news as well. So Bing is wants people to search with emojis.
Interesting.
Well, I get it.
People use them on social platforms.
So, exactly. Yeah. So in Bing, there's an icon you can click on that lets you search by emojis.
Okay.
Thought that was pretty cool. They call it the emoji keyboard.
So would that be like, search for, I don't know, pizza frowny face so that you know where not to buy pizza, or you search for pizza happy face?
Yeah, I'm not that versed in emoji lingo.
Yeah.
Now my children I've literally seen conversations with no text, just all emojis.
It's like, yeah, I'm happy.
It's like,
I
went to the store, I did that, and then I got some new shoes.
Yeah.
It was like 6 pictures.
And it's like, okay.
It's new age hieroglyphics.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was just thinking, hieroglyphics is back again.
Yeah.
So somebody needs to invent the Rosetta Stone for parents so that we can figure out what they're talking about.
Yeah, I was going to tell you what one of them means, but I'll share that off air. It's ridiculous. When I found that one out, I immediately had to go do some phone check.
Well, now you can search it.
Exactly. So that was kind of cool. So dig this. This almost could have been AlgoCap on mobile devices.
Right.
If you search for a local business on Google, Google is going to use the film strip to show you that store's busiest times.
Interesting.
Yeah, don't go at 3 because the store's probably packed. Right.
That's pretty awesome.
I thought that was
wow.
My question was, how do they know?
So I already see a lawsuit, right? They get the data wrong, and it says they're always busy, like super busy at noon, and no one shows up. And yeah, interesting.
Yeah, so it was that. Then I wanted to give a punch in the face to Twitter. So this was the headline. Twitter soundly beats expectations with $502 million in the second quarter revenue. 304 million monthly active users. That's an improvement. And 316 million active users who only sign in via text.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that many people would just use text that way.
On Twitter. Yeah, me either, because you can't see who's following you when you do it via text.
Weird.
But apparently
people do.
People do.
Apparently,
and lastly,
316 million do. I don't think I believe that.
I might. I mean,
if you told me like 10 million people. Like,
the 300, that's incorrect. There's 316 million monthly active users.
Oh,
so,
including those.
Including those.
Okay, yeah, okay. So I actually didn't believe that. Now that I understand the statement, I do believe it.
And then Facebook beat their estimates as well, $4.4 billion in the last quarter as well. So
wow. Yeah, that's a lot of money.
A lot of moolah.
Yeah.
So dig this, I felt bad. They broke their numbers
No wonder
down.
they're building like airplanes that deliver. What is that airplane going to do? It's going to deliver internet.
Free internet.
Why? Because we just made $4 billion last quarter.
Because according to their numbers, when they broke it down, all of the money they generated based on all of the users they have, they says on average each user is worth $8.63
per month or per. Oh wow, $8 a user. Nice.
When you have 500 million users.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They could probably really break that down into like these 10 million users are the
worth
ones
$30 a
yeah.
piece. Yeah, easily. And that's my news.
Cool. That is the potatoes of our podcast. Time to get into the meat. We're going to talk about email newsletter marketing.
Newsletter marketing, man. So again, punch in the face to Scott Gerber and the good fellas over at Search Engine Journal posted this article, 11 ways to improve your click-through rate. And they're talking about click-through rate from emails, right? So how many people out there still sending emails out via newsletter or, some sort of email going out, MailChimp, Constant Contact, Aweber, whatever you're using. We're going to dive into some ways to figure out to improve that click-through rate. Let me take the moment to say here, newsletter marketing is definitely a service we offer as well. And we approach it usually from a different perspective. Our goal is really, we understand that at the end of the day, no matter how much traffic Google gets, no matter how much traffic Yahoo or Facebook gets or YouTube, your inbox is still the most visited place on the internet.
Absolutely.
And so it makes sense for us to make sure that all of our clients have something in your inbox every month to stay top of mind and to remind them of you. With that being said, we can improve on that. Right now that mail is there, how can we increase click-throughs? How can we get more functionality out of that email? And we'll dive right in.
Wait.
Oh,
we almost forgot this email.
Okay.
So we'll dive right in after this brief email interlude. All right, so we did get this email. We did kind of allude to it at the beginning, and this is from Paul Barrett. We've talked with him. He's a longtime listener. Punch in the face to Paul, and punch in the face for putting this email together.
Sending us this email.
Because this is really good stuff. It is a little long, so bear with me. I'll try to read it quickly. Been a longtime listener of the podcast. It's been super helpful to me as he was starting out. So thanks a bunch. I actually contacted you guys about redesign, but it didn't end up working out. Anyway, you guys put together a great podcast and promote yourself and your social media channels. It's a little long-winded and too rehearsed for me. I get that. But I feel like completely justified given the value you guys deliver. The only issue I take is that you guys pump the hell out of social media, but no one ever responds. It says, I have tweeted you guys on 3 separate occasions and never once got a reply. Sorry, I apologize. That would be like saying, hey guys, make sure you can talk to us, then never answer the phone when it rings, or stop by our location and never unlocking the door. Social media is exactly that, social, which means if you want to be part of it, social if you want to be over it. If all you care about is top line followers, then go pay for them and get yourself 10K followers. But if you want people to care about what you do on social, you have to engage. Not trying to rip on you guys, actually only took the time to send this email because I feel like you deserve to hear another perspective on this. Keep up the good work, and hopefully this isn't upsetting to you guys. Yes, it is upsetting, but from the context of we have room to improve.
Yeah, upsetting from like the perspective we already know.
Yeah.
Like we get it. It's something we've already talked about internally. We've actually put some stuff in place to be more effective in regards to our social. You're absolutely right.
Yep.
We do push social a lot. And we're not interested in buying fake followers, which is why we push social a lot, so we can build up from the ground up.
Yeah.
So yeah, punch in the face, dude. Appreciate your support. Thank you for the compliments. He kind of said what we've always been saying about, the meat versus the potatoes.
Yeah.
He gets the value, and so I really appreciate that.
Yep.
And well, we'll take that kick in the shin because we deserve it.
We deserve it. Thanks, Paul. Punch in the face to you. All right. Back to the meat of the podcast.
Yeah, 11 ways to improve your click-through rate. And again, we're talking about email marketing, so emails coming out, how can you improve the value of those newsletters, right? So number 1, so dig this. Before I dive in, Scott, what he did was he asked 11 different people, Okay, and so that's how we got the 11 different ways. And so the first one was a guy named Joshua from a company called Bigger Pockets. Joshua said, use buttons instead of links for call to actions. Again, he's talking about in an email. So consider you log into Gmail or in your Outlook or whatever your email platform is, and bam, you get this newsletter from, I don't know, your favorite shoe store or whoever you subscribe to. And inside the text, they have links and then they have buttons. He says use buttons instead of links for key calls to actions. He goes on to say, we managed to drastically increase the click-through rates of some of our key emails and newsletter links by simply transforming the links in the embedded text to big green buttons. He's right. And at the end of the day, you need to make your clicks obvious. You need to make it pretty clear what you want people to do pretty quickly. And everybody understands the purpose of a button. You see a button, you think click.
I'm supposed to click
if
I want to.
If I want to, and depending on the nature of your CTA, then I want to. Exactly. So use buttons. Great tip. I totally agree.
It's perfect because I was just looking at an email from one of our from one of our former clients that they had put together and sent out, this doc response.
Okay.
And it had the text of a very important article. This is a Harvard journal that was telling that they had done an independent study and that docresponse.com was the most accurate online symptom checker available. And
I saw that newsletter.
Right? So they sent that newsletter. It had some good parts and it had some bad parts. And one of the bad parts was there was no real clear action to get them back to the website. There was a link, but it got buried. And so a button would have increased that conversion significantly.
A whole lot more. Number 2. Okay, from Kelly from She's Got Systems. She says, share something unexpected. Talking about your newsletter. She says, give some background on why the reader should care and then tease them with the answer, which is something they must click through to see fully. I totally agree. Anytime you can surprise someone or give someone something that they weren't expecting, usually captivates them, usually grabs their attention. I will say this though, keep it relevant. Right? You know, if you are in AC repair, don't surprise me with the latest tip on cutting your grass or washing the car, because it's not relevant whatsoever. But however, if you're in AC repair and you have a secret tip that can fix a Freon leak or whatever it is, share that. Give enough information with the big button, according to the first one, to read this article further. And that will definitely increase people's interest in that specific article.
And I gotta say, you could certainly share a cat enjoying AC video. I think that would be.
It's related. I mean, it's related, and then it's a newsletter. It's a newsletter where you can kind of get away from some of those things, right? In regards to the, it's almost like social, where it doesn't have to be as corporate as you may be on your site
all the time.
Exactly. Number 3. And this one comes from Tarek from Uncubed. He writes, write your call to action like a headline. Right? He goes on to say, with the CTA, you get the benefit of the build-up before enticing the reader to click. For example, I just told you that X company is hiring like crazy. See all 52 jobs here. Great headline. I'd click it. If that was my email subject, I'd click that. If that wasn't the email subject, if that was the link inside the email, I'd probably click it.
Do we need to talk? Are you looking for a job?
Not at all. I'm good. But the point I'm making is,
it's a great heading.
Okay, let me make this more direct so my boss won't be scared. Headline says, 10 new pair of Jordans come out. Click here to see the 11th.
That kind of makes me nervous too, because I could step on your shoes.
Click here to see the 11th. I definitely click. And so when you write your call to actions like a headline, when you think headline, think H1, right? Think title tag. When you write your CTAs in that fashion, then they tend to have a higher click-through.
And we talked about a statistic, this is a long time ago, about your headline and or title are about 90%, so they'll get about 90% of views compared to compared to the rest of the article. So 10% of the people who see your tag will actually get in the article. That's how important it is. Same with the call to action.
Great bit. Number 4, this one came from Josh Sprague over at Orange Mud. Josh says, use more pictures and less text, right? I agree. Maybe. Kind of depends on the nature of your business. right? If you're maybe your newsletter is for exactly pictures of money, maybe, I don't know. But depends on it. Maybe if you're e-commerce, right, then yeah, you definitely got plenty of product pictures and pictures of people using your product and or service. But yeah, if you're in a lawyer or something like that, then people are actually looking for content. I think they're wanting to read, and so you just may want to break it up with a few pictures, but don't be afraid of that content. I'll say this: if you're going to use more pictures, what I'm adding is make sure those pictures are linked, right? So maybe that picture is hosted on your site somewhere, and people who see pictures, they tend to want to click it to see the bigger version, right? And so if you link that picture to the page on your site where that same picture exists, now when people click that picture in that newsletter you sent, they ended up on your site, and you can have more description about the picture, more information about the product, or whatever it is. But link the picture. Don't just feature it without giving it an opportunity to go somewhere.
Absolutely. That was 4.
That was number 4. Number 5. Number 5 comes from Nicole Munoz. Man, put you in the face to Nicole. How you doing? Ain't talked to you in a while. I know her. Nicole Munoz, she says utilize videos.
Yeah.
And she's right. She says, instead of leading a reader to a sales page or a content page, try linking to a video that pitches your product instead. I'm going to tell you why this is so on point. Because in MailChimp and Constant Contact, you can't embed videos anyway. You have to use a screenshot of the video. Right. And so why not use that screenshot of the video and then link it to the actual video? I will say, embed that video on a page on your site and link it to that page. Don't link to the YouTube video itself. Link to the page on your site where that video is.
And one of the reasons to do that is because of the tip from last podcast. Always use remarketing. Get them to your site so you can drop that remarketing code on.
That's why the video links, that's why the button links, that's one of the main reasons we really don't want people to convert from the newsletter. Now there's a CTA in every newsletter we send, so if they convert, great, because that's better for the client. But chances are they likely won't. They'll probably do more research, and we want to get you to the site so you can see other videos, so you can get on that remarketing list. And so we can figure out where you came from, how much time you spent, and you may end up on a segmented list the more you click around. And so it's definitely worth doing that.
Absolutely.
Number 6 from Adam Roser over at Echidna Inc. Adam says, offer expert commentary. Great one. He says, give your readers a break from your brand voice and give them a rare opportunity to listen to another. He's absolutely right, especially if they're related in the industry, not a direct competitor per se, but somebody who can provide some insight in regards to what you're offering. How do you do that? Interviews, maybe guest blog posts, and things like that, where you can feature this content on your site. That's kind of seeming to be the theme here, because we want to get people from the newsletter to your site, but feature that information in that newsletter with the link so they can go read it further. Anytime you can give people a change, I'm trying to think of the term for it. My good friend Brian Horn shared it with me. Anytime you can give somebody a change in what they're normally used to, but that change is still consistent in what you offer, it usually works out well.
Alternative.
Change is good. Change is good. So offer some expert commentary in regards to your subject matter. Absolutely. Now, I think it's key to say they really need to be an expert, right? Right. Like if you're an AC business, maybe you're offering expert commentary from some manufacturer at the American Standard, right? Or maybe you're a plumber, and so you're offering commentary from some plumbing supervisor at Home Depot, or whatever it is. But the key is make sure that this person is a legit expert and can be verified. Number 7. This one comes from Andrew over at Kitchen Cabinet Kings. Andrew says, personalize the message. Totally agree, Andrew. He says an email is more actionable when it directly affects the person reading it. So this really steps back to the purpose of your newsletter, right? So if you have something that's kind of generic and you're just sending out kind of generic information, that's one thing. But anytime you can build up a segmented list, let's say like you have, maybe you have people who just are commercial clients and they need commercial AC. And so you send them a separate newsletter from you send your residential AC person who's just looking for maintenance tips, right? Send them a separate newsletter because it's more applicable to them. They're likely to take a more action involved. Second step to making it personalized it's kind of the default stuff you need to do with each newsletter, right? Make sure that it mentions them by name. It doesn't say, hey, customer, or hey, client, or worse, don't forget to fill out the newsletter
so
teaser. And it says, use this area to offer a teaser, and everybody got that. Then it's like, okay, you can take the time to proof your newsletter.
You don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Personalize the message. It just works better. Number 8 from Vic Patel from Future Hosting. He says, hire a good copywriter. He says, healthy open rates and poor click-through rates imply that the content is failing to interest and engage the reader. That's probably true.
Unless you used us and we're driving them somewhere else.
Exactly.
Really
That's what I said, probably.
Yeah.
It's probably true. But I think, it's as long as you understand the basis or the focus, better yet, the objective of your newsletter.
Yeah.
If your newsletter is to get people in their email and to read the whole thing and don't really convert from there, don't go to your site, don't do those things, then yes, you should spend a lot of time crafting great quality content to keep them there. I would suggest you do that. I would suggest you write content good enough that leaves them hanging to get them over to your site.
Absolutely.
Because that's where you have a higher chance for the conversion. Frankly, that's where you have less distractions, because if they're still in their email, they probably got another one while reading yours, and have some other stuff right below it, and some reminders of all kind of other stuff they need to do. And so we really want to get them out of the inbox and onto your site. But he's not mistaken here. We're hire a good copywriter. And what I've kind of added to this was web content generally works, right? So if we already have a decent copywriter, a nice copywriter, we're writing well-written, optimized content for your site, then repurpose some of that already well-optimized content for your newsletter.
Absolutely.
Number 9. Number 9, he says, and number 9 is from Andrew from Money Crashers Personal Finance. Andrew says, make them time sensitive. He's talking about your newsletters.
Yeah.
He says, when the reader knows prior to opening the email that action is needed soon, you can get better results. Great tip. For example, he says 48 hours to save money on the latest tech, right? Yeah, you click it and see.
That's a pitch email.
It's a pitch email,
Very
but
specific.
be interested in seeing what the latest tech is, and how much time I have. At the end of the day, he's talking FOMO.
Yeah.
Fear of missing out. You want to, anytime you can give somebody that fear, because we all know fear is an emotion, one of the most powerful emotions. And emotion always drives sales. Emotion drives conversions. And so if you can give somebody that fear, which is that emotion, they'll likely take action on it. Click here to get these shoes, in the next 2 days. Click, 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 click. Click. And so make them time sensitive.
I heard that at your desk the other day.
Number 10 came from Christopher Jones at lseo.com. Christopher says, use power words. I get it, right? He says, for example, instead of saying that the performance of your product beats the competition, say that it annihilates the competition.
Ooh.
Great use of words.
Yeah.
What Christopher is really saying is up your vocabulary.
It goes back to the good copy, right? I mean, good copywriter.
Up your vocabulary, right? Like, everybody's great. Everybody beats the competition. Who annihilates the competition?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Are you good, or are you phenomenal?
Yeah.
Right? Was that great, or was that amazing?
Yeah.
Right? Use some power words. And I'll add this, and we've talked about it before. Use power words in conjunction with action words. Yeah. Right? So at the end of the day, if I'm trying to get you to my site to purchase, to order, to buy something, then I'll say, order this product that annihilates the competition, right? So now I got an action in there, so if you click this, you're getting ready to order something.
24 hours only.
Yeah, exactly. So use power words, and I'll say add action words to that.
Absolutely.
And the last one, number 11, came from Jana Cook at Event Up.
Jana.
She says, show what's in it for the customer.
With them.
Exactly. Yeah. What's in it for me, right? She says, if you give them a reason or an incentive within the newsletter subject, it will attract more attention. At the end of the day, people are going to always gravitate to what they know they're going to get. And if I know if I click this, then there's value in it for me, I'm going to get something, especially if you made it clear that I'm going to get that, then I'll have a higher likelihood of clicking it, right? But if you got that message somewhere hidden in the post and it's not clearly identifiable that I'm going to get something by clicking this, then like the first one said, I already get way too much mail, I'm probably not going to click it.
Right.
So yes, show what's in it for the customer.
Oh, look, I see a remarketing ad.
That's how that works, huh? And so, yeah, that's it, man. 11 ways to improve your click-through rate. Punch in the face to Scott Gerber, man. Good article, and everybody he interviewed, great points. And yeah, that's what's up.
Good stuff. All right, so do we have any blank stare?
No, I don't have any blanks there.
So this really wraps up the meat of our podcast. So time to wrap up. Hey, if you're looking to grow your business with the largest, simplest marketing tool on the planet,
The internet.
call eWebStyle for increased revenue in your business. Our phone number is 713-592-6724. If you have a referral, we have a referral program.
Yeah.
The way it works is you send the referral to us. We do the work. They pay us. We pay you. It's nice and simple.
Pretty simple.
Some people have taken advantage of that. Please remember, I am broadcasting on Blog Talk Radio. The radio show is called Creative Biz Ideas. We broadcast from 7:30 to 9:30 Central Standard Time. Just go to creativebizIdeas.com to find that. And finally, we were filmed live here at 5999 West 34th Street, Suite 106, Houston, Texas 77092. We are the most popular internet marketing podcast because of all of y'all. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Until the next podcast, my name is Chris Burris.
Charles Lewis.
Bye-bye for now.
All right.